Well, hey there, you're on the internet, I have some free time, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? Now, today's ink I got with this pen that I recently bought at a brick and mortar store. It's a Sheaffer 100. I actually got it for about 40 bucks. The nib is a medium, fairly moderate medium, and moderate in flow as well. I used the black Skrip cartridge that came in the box, but when you buy it in a bottle, they generally come in bottles like this. This is the only bottle of Sheaffer Skrip that I have, and it's red, and I love it. But anyways, let's check out the chromatography. As you can see, there's definite potential for water resistance, but it's in this very interesting, I don't know what color that is. It's almost gold in places. It's definitely green. Grayish, I don't know. It's a fascinating color. And then up towards the top, you actually get into what looks like a dark blue or a dark purple. So, yeah. Let's check out the paper tests. Top down in density, Clairefontaine 90 grams per square meter. Now, I don't like my black inks to shade. If I want a black ink, I want a very solid black ink. This one shades. Also 22 seconds to dry, which for a very, moderate medium was definitely surprising. You definitely see the shading and the writing, and that's not my preference, but yeah, as you can see, there's a good bit of water resistance here. It's that strange dark green color thing going on, but pretty water resisty. No bleed. Next is Rhodia, 80 grams per square meter. Again, fairly long dry time for a moderate medium. You still get shading, which I don't really like in a black ink. I like my black inks to be consistent. But no bleed feather spread, no sheen. Again, decent amount of water resistance. Very well behaved. No exploding. It did kind of turn greenish, but that's all. Yeah, I scrubbed pretty hard. Next is Tomoe River Paper, where it took 22 seconds to dry, which again feels long, and you still see shading. I mean, you especially see shading because that's what Tomoe River is known for. But, yeah, no bleed feather spread, obviously. No sheen. You get like a bit of shininess, but not real sheen. And fairly impressive water resistance for Tomoe River. It loves to let ink just slide away, but that's clear, that's dark. Leaning towards green, but and there is some echo, but I mean, come on, it's Tomoe River and it's a black ink, so. Now, next is 20-pound copier paper, where it exploded. Got very, very broad. If you look at the line variation, it got much thicker, and it got lighter, and so there's spread and there's feathering. The water test was very impressive. It dyed the paper a little bit, but it's very there, it's very dark, very clear. It's only about as broad as it was in the regular writing, so it didn't really explode. But again, that's more bleeding than I like to see, especially for a very moderate medium. So next is Mead Notebook Paper, where again, it got light. 2.5 seconds to dry. As you can see, hopefully, a lot of fading or spread, a lot of feathering. I said it could have been worse as far as bleed goes, and that's true. It could have been much worse, but the echo is severe. So, yeah. Again, the water test, pretty impressive. It's pretty dark, it's pretty there, but here it did explode and it did feather a bit, so. And lastly is Moleskine notebook paper. where I'm going to try and hold this really still because it got pretty explodey and pretty feathery, and yeah, you get shading, and I don't really like shading in my black inks, but yeah. Water test, again, what's at the middle is very dark and very clear, but still it exploded, it spread, it feathered. Here you can see a really, and again, for a moderate medium nib, this is much more bleed than I am comfortable with. So there you go. For your consideration, Sheaffer Skrip Black. It's a decent black, and it has pretty good water resistance. And for a free cartridge that comes with a pen, it did very, very well. And it's just not as, you know, fancy and show-offy as some of the Noodler's inks, which I prefer, but it's a perfectly good, perfectly serviceable black. So for your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.